Record. There we go. My intention this evening is every couple of weeks, I like to work with my spirit team. So rather than me teaching people, I am saying, let's sit with my spirit friends and allow them to have a voice. As I was saying earlier, it is a consensual, beautiful, willing relationship with my spirit friends. I love them. They love me, despite me. All right. All of my weirdness and for all of my doubts and fears and all the stuff that comes with being human, they still love me, which is good.
Yeah.
Woo woo. So, yes, as strange as I may be, they still love me. That is unconditional love. Now, I quite simply just want to merge my energy mentally with theirs. I ask them to come close in this blending process that you'll see very shortly. And the next voice that you hear, once I do actually shut up, will be my spirit friends. Yay. All right, I'll cheer. Wait, see, this is it. I got a cheerleader. Lydia's my cheerleader. So the next voice will be my spirit friends. Now, please speak to them. They are not high and mighty. They don't sit above you. They don't look down on you. And they don't think we're guides. We are wonderful and amazing. And you are just peasants. And we are this, that, and the other. They are your equal and you are their equal. Okay. Every single one of you stands shoulder to shoulder with your spirit friends. Okay. That's how it is. That's being spiritually evolved. They do not look down on us. Doing that is a very human way. All right. Luckily, our spirit friends know a little better. Now, please do interact with them. If you feel that you have a question you would like to ask, now it's a lot, generally speaking, they're not personal questions like, will I meet the man, woman, or dog of my dreams? Okay. We're talking something of a spiritual nature that may resonate with other people. If it feels right to ask it, then it's okay. But we're not talking about, really personal stuff. Don't do that because it's a public environment, so everyone will hear your business. All right? Because they're not worried about who they say it to. So make sure you're happy for anyone to hear it. Now, I am going to shut up. No cheering. But, but it's going to be a few minutes and then my spirit friends will make themselves known. Now, June. Do you think these people should be subjected to a bigger view of me? Or should we just leave it as it is? What do you think, guys?
I already pinned you, so you're already big on my screen.
Oh no, I wish I hadn't known that. Okay.
I think perhaps for in some ways it's probably easier if people look at you clairvoyantly and they see the changes that are going on.
Just leave it as is then, June?
Well, entirely to you.
Yeah.
People can alter it on their own screens.
If it's a bigger screen, you'll see, because this is a black top, and the reason I'm wearing a black top is that maybe you might see energy around the neck and the chest area. Maybe you won't. But worse than that is I've got two dogs. Well, I've got four dogs. One of them is white, one of them is gingery color, and their hairs are really showing up. So I've been like this, like prior to letting you all in, I'm sitting there like this, like, have we got a lint roller? I'm trying to pick off the dog hairs. So I think actually if I keep it this big, you don't see how dirty this top looks. And I promise you it is clean. All right. So there we go. I think I've answered my own question there.
Yeah.
So you don't think worse of me. I'm just going to take a little drink. And if everyone's muted, there you go.
There's a few people that aren't muted, Andy, if you can mute.
Well, I'm now gonna press my button that does mute them all at the same time. Which is this one there. Mute all. Okay. Now I'm not muted. Woohoo. Can you hear me okay? What's the volume like when I'm talking?
It's good. Don't worry about it. It's all
Can you imagine if I turned the microphone on? Damn, that man is so loud. For those of you that have never met me before, it doesn't get better than this. This is how I normally am. I'm not making a special effort to be weird for you. All right, this is it. Ask June.
Yeah.
June's worked with me for several years now, and she still comes back. That's dedication, I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought your country was crazy? You haven't seen nothing yet. Right, ladies and gents. Oh, I look forward to this so much. I can't wait. And relax. I'll be about 3 or 4 minutes, roughly. And for those of you that are not really sure about what to expect, think about stuff like the flow of speech. You've heard me talk. You know kind of the way in which I talk. You start to get to understand a sense of my personality. You can notice the tone of my voice, the accent. Think about how any of those things may change. You may see energy. You may see me clairvoyantly and see overshadowing. As your spooky vision tunes into me, you may just become aware of other people joining and other aspects such as that. Okay. Well, well, my friends,
Good evening.
here we are once more, embracing the opportunity to work with the boy and to speak with you, our spiritual brothers and sisters, fellow pilgrims on a path of learning. And so it is that we come together, spirit and spirit, one speaking through another, using the mind faculty to once more have a voice, to once more be heard, to offer an opinion, but not to issue a decree. Please understand, my friends, that the words shared this evening by those who will speak, they are only the words that are the result of our understanding, our collective consciousness, and I am merely a voice, a mouthpiece for a greater communion of spirit, of who I am but one. When we work with the boy, we come together as a gathering of souls, and you are listening to the personality of just one, but more are influencing the conversation, word by word. And in these moments, we would ask you just to consider, and no more than consider, what we have to say to you. And friends, if it does not resonate with you, then it is not to be your truth. And so you should continue your journey of finding the truth as you feel it, as you know it. The truth can have many facets, and your cultural and societal understandings and opinions will influence what you believe the truth is, what you find acceptable to you and your sensibilities. We are not here to berate you, to command you, or to be a lord over you. We are here as friends, seeking to move the love from our heart, and to, for a brief moment, to touch upon your heart, upon your sensibilities, to see if we can come together to some understanding. So moving into this conversation, we are minded that the way of the world at the moment, it gives many of you cause to doubt that you still have a voice, that you have an opportunity to make a difference. And sometimes experience has said to you that I have tried many times to express myself, and now I forego that opportunity because I do not see change happening. Well, you can have a say, and you can make a difference, my friend. But it is not only through the ballot box or through conversation or by sharing an opinion. It is by fostering a sense that the energy that you wish to become part of, the change that you wish to see, that you foster it and grow it and you live it as a spiritual being inhabiting that body that carries you, that you can become a power for change by virtue of the fact that you can think. And you do not have to think angry thoughts. You can think positive thoughts, uplifting thoughts. You can think of ways that you can change the world that you see. Just one step at a time. We may look at the political forces around us and think that I would do it differently. And at the level of a nation, very few people have the power to make a national change. But at the level of person to person, you can make a difference, my friends. What you do, the way that you think, the way that you listen, the way that you give people your time, the way that you love them. If you truly consider it, sharing your love with someone is far more powerful than any nation state, than any kingdom that ever there has been. Human to human, spirit to spirit, and heart to heart. That is how you make a difference. Allowing someone to know that they are loved. They are loved beyond any political persuasion, by any belief. They are loved for being human. Even those who voted against what you believe in. See them not as a political adversary, but as a spiritual brother and sister. And even if what comes out of their mouth reviles you, then it does no good to send anger or hatred to them. Because where was the origin of that anger? Where did it come from prior to sending it to them? It came from you. And do you not think that you deserve better? That within your body, your spiritual essence, you should hold the power of anger. It is insidious to want to be in receipt of anger. It is a very human thing that sometimes we feel anger to one another. But you know, in those seconds, after you have finished saying what you say to someone with great anger, you know that you do not truly feel good. Everything about you says, I do not like feeling this way. So your body is telling you something. Your sensibilities are telling you something. That I am in a state that is not good for me. So what can we do about it? Cultivate the essence of love. Think about those that you truly, truly care for. And whoever that person was, who you had that great anger for or against, add them to that list in your heart of those that you truly love. And you may think to yourself, it is impossible. But nothing is impossible unless you are not willing to at least try. Just as you can love, you can hate. It is a choice. You all have a choice, don't you? You chose to join the boy this evening. That was your choice. Maybe you are regretting it now. But here you are, choosing. You could have gone left, but you turned right. So, my friends, think about how you cultivate the life that you want to see. Think about in those moments of reflection, days, weeks, years after a painful argument. Often time shows you a new perspective. But what if we took away the year, the 10 years, the 50 years of waiting to have that new perspective? What if we changed right now and said that for your own benefit, you are going to cultivate something positive, something loving, something that allows you to grow as a spiritual being? For that presence of love, my friends, it elevates you, it lifts you, it connects that vibration to those that are more loving in their essence. If you like, it is like removing air from a balloon and replacing it with helium, and you become lighter, more buoyant, more spiritually abundant. Then let us make that balloon bigger, put in more helium, allow you to rise above that very human emotion of anger. Let us become something that we look up to, for someone else to look up to. Be an example to them. To say, here I am, an example of change. Because sometimes people just need someone to give them an example to follow. My friends, thank you for listening to my words. If they have resonated in some way, then I hope I have been of service to you in this way. But let us come now to my friend June. June, I'm sure you are reading my mind and know that I am ready.
Yeah.
We are ready to receive questions should our ladies and gentlemen feel so inclined.
Okay, we'll ask. So does anyone have any questions? If you'd like to either put your hand up or put one of the hand emojis. Oh, we have a question. Okay. Claudia, would you like to unmute yourself, please, and ask your question?
Thanks a lot. I haven't any question in this evening. Thank you. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I see. Okay, your emoji was up, so I thought that was it. Okay, I
Oh.
beg your pardon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not
Thank you.
a problem. Not a problem. Okay. So does anyone have a yes, we've got a question here. Okay. From Lydia. Can't see you, Lydia, but I see your little emoji up. I will find you. Just one moment. Okay, yes, fine. Thank you, Lydia. Would you please unmute yourself as you have and ask your question, please? Thank you.
I was wondering whether the boy's guide is able to communicate with our guides, or does he is aware of our guides also when he speaks to humans, like, on the earth plane like this?
Well, my friend, just as you have many companions on the screen with you, so it is in our interests to make a communication between you and those that guide you and those that work with the boy. It is in the interest that as we work upon the development within the classroom environment, but that as we look at the issues that are troubling you, we come together as a collective, my friend, that our only interest is to help you understand, to help you move forward, and to remove those obstacles in any way that we are able to do so. So communication, my friends, as in all aspects of life, it is a vital component of moving forward with greater understanding and clarity. So, of course, we speak to those who work with you. And if we are able to come to an understanding, there will be a member of the team who will share a collective thought, a collective opinion on how we may be able to help you or to answer your question. So many minds make light work of the many issues that you as a person and as a medium, as a spiritual being, may be facing. Is there a specific aspect you would like us to speak of, my friend?
No, not in particularly. I just was wondering if you are aware already about speaking with our on the earth plane, and then also be so aware, of all the others above us.
Well, My friends, you know, in those times at which we have this time together in the classroom, and when those questions are perceived, and we could say when that you send a thought up telepathically, when you think you are just having a thought that is secret to you, in that consciousness that surrounds you, we can perceive your thoughts. We are not being intrusive, and we would not seek to cancel you on them, not unless you wish to be assisted in some way. But of course, we come together as this collective consciousness. We are aware of your thoughts. It would be something approaching a miracle to have those that guide you from our spirit perspective to not become aware of your wishes, your thoughts. But it is up to those specifically charged with guiding you that should you call upon them, they will be there for you. In the classroom environment, of course, we work with the boy. So those that work with you speak with us, and we share together to hopefully come to an understanding that enables you to move forward, my friend. Does that help you understand, my friend?
Yes, thank you very much. Beautiful.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Lydia. Bridget also has a question. Would you like to unmute yourself, please, Bridget, and ask your question?
Thank you. Good evening, friend.
Hello,
Could
my
I could I please ask you what was the most difficult thing you had to overcome when working with your medium?
friend. Huh. Well, my friend, the most difficult thing is the most constant thing. Self-doubt. My friend, if we had $1 for every time that the boy doubted himself or us, this room would be filled with dollar bills, and I would be finding a nice holiday for my spirit self to go on. Alas, it is a very human, a very mediumistic trait. For let us look quite clearly about what is happening with the boy. He sits there. He makes himself available to us. He battles with that fear of failure. He looks at an audience that he does not necessarily know. The fear of the unknown question. The fear that the connection will not be what he wants it to be. The many different ways in which his day could have taken him to a place of anger. But allowing that mind to come into a state of peace, into a state of love, a state to receive the love of spirit within his heart and to rejoice in it. This is what brings us closer together, and being willing to be vulnerable, being willing to be loved. And how strange that I should say that, being willing to be loved. Why should I touch upon this? Because love, my friends, is the very force that brought you here. It is the force that will receive you, and the force that moves you through this process that you call life. And with that force becomes all of the frailties of being human. That fear of judgment, that fear of not being good enough, that fear of what will someone think of me. All of these things, my friend, they are the things that have held him back. As time goes on, he starts to let go of them, like someone taking off 20 layers of clothing. Well, it's wonderful to be warm, but after a while, we get too warm, and we start to lose some of those layers, and we feel a sense of lightness, a sense of comfortability. Because being a medium and being human are intrinsically linked. And as we become a better human, we become a better medium. As we let go of the bullshit and all of the things that hold you back, you start to fulfill more of your potential. As you start to let go of the need for worrying about what someone else thinks, you start to fulfill more of your potential. And this is what the boy does. Day after day, month after month. And some days, he is running through quicksand, and you just see the top of his little head poking above the sand. And other days, it seems like he has wings, and he flies. Most of the time, it is somewhere in between the two, where his feet are on the ground, and we just smile. Watching someone work and move forward, it gives us great pleasure, just as those that guide you look on you with loving eyes. And should you all not be deserving of loving eyes gazing upon you? I think you should. I hope it answers you, my friend.
It does. Thank you so much, friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget, for your question. Jill, you have a question. Would you like to unmute yourself, please, and ask your question? Thank you.
Thank you. I hope this message is not too personal. I have a question about when your family members go to spirit, and if there's a chance that they come back in a reincarnation, is there still some connection? Do we still have some connection to that soul?
My friend, the very honest question is, when are you never connected? When will there ever be a time when you will not be connected to those that you have loved and those that love you? The answer is never. My friend, that time at which we say goodbye, the painful part, the grief, that is the very human aspect of the experience. But that spiritual aspect, that mediumistic awareness, allows us to know that the consciousness that you once knew still lives on. And yet another facet of that consciousness can seek to have a new experience, to be a new actor in a new film, where maybe they don't play your son, they play someone different. Sometimes that soul can reincarnate into the same family, and you may see new experiences and new similarities. But more often than not, we should use the analogy that variety is the spice of life. You see, that consciousness that finds its output is his soul, that then enters into this physical form. He's just an actor in a play. And it could be that at one point you were the mother. Maybe in a new time you'll become enemies or best friends or something completely different. You see, going through life, Human life is about dealing with adversity and pain. It is about dealing with love and laughter. It is about wondering our purpose and why we are here. If you are in a world where there were not these frailties, life would seem akin to being on holiday all the time. And you kind of get used to just laying on the beach, just wondering about the stupid stuff. But when you come to the earth, when you seek to have this experience, and you ask, why am I here? Well, the answer is, my friend, for growth. Spiritual, human, loving, painful growth. The kind of growth that you would say no to if you had a prior understanding. The kind of growth that would make you say, who in their right mind would want to be human and undergo this set of circumstances? But you know, if you cannot die truly, if you can only transition into a greater state of being, then where is the real death? Grief becomes temporary. You are reunited, this aspect of your soul. It will be reunited with those that you have loved and lost, just as those that go after you will one day be reunited with you. It is a constant evolving transition of birth, life, death, rebirth, life, death. But the death is only temporary. You let go of that physical form, and then you realize that you have not really died at all. You have merely changed from being the caterpillar, and you have become the butterfly. That soul, that essence, was in the caterpillar and the butterfly. But there is a process of transition, and one became the next. Does that help you in some way, my friend?
It does. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question, Jill.
Thank you.
Now, does anyone else have a question? Would you just like to put their hand down, Jill, please? Thank you. Oh, right. Now we have another question. All right. Well, we have Kevin. Would you like to unmute yourself, Kevin, please, and ask your question?
Thank you very much. Friend, can you tell me, with all the troubles in the world and what's going on at the moment, my understanding is still that the overall vibration of the planet is increasing and it's getting to a tipping point of some change. Would you agree with that, or could you give me a comment about that?
Well, we would say yes and no, my friend. Yes, that there are more people than ever before on this planet. And so by virtue of the volume of energy present, that the energy is rising. But it is not necessarily a constant uphill trajectory. You see, what you have is you have a divided populace. There are those like you who maybe seek to look up to the heavens and say, I wonder what is up there. I wonder how I can make a difference. I wonder how I can be a better man today than I was yesterday. And then there are those who live in the darkness of spiritual understanding, who are not willing or able to allow the light of His spiritual love to provide luminosity over their ignorance. And sometimes we need to have those who live in a sense of darkness, a sense of ignorance, because they hold a mirror up to us. When we see someone behaving in a certain way, it makes us contemplate our own behavior. In essence, this is why those on the spirit side seek to communicate. We wish to hold a mirror up to you and say, look at yourself. But look at the difference, as we spoke about earlier, that how we can raise the vibration by the way that we think, the way that we act, the way that we work, the way that we interact with people. And it becomes contagious. But my friend, there is always an ebb and a flow. Just as one country starts to decide that it just dislikes the whole of another. It is like two oceans pushing in opposite directions. There is a force behind both of those oceans. But what we seek to do is to mediate and become something more uplifting, more positive, and starts to take the sting out of the negative. And you know, my friend, as you have seen people in your own life who have motivated you, who have inspired you, who have encouraged you, who have told you that everything is possible, you know how wonderful it felt to receive those words. And you know at times when you receive words that are the opposite, that discourage you, that demotivate you, that make you feel anger. There is a power to both of these states of being. So we as human beings, as spiritual beings, as ambassadors of whatever you find to be your truth, you need to raise that vibration by the very essence of how you conduct yourself. And people will see you. But more importantly, my friend, people will feel you. It is not about shouting from the rooftops, look at how wise I am. I'm a very wise man, and I have many wise things to say. But when you live your life as a loving, kind being, silently you make a difference to people. Your very energy as you would stand in a queue in a shop is emanating from you. Sometimes you just feel the goodness of someone just by being near them. So understand the great power in bringing into your mind and emanating your spiritual essence to affect people without them even knowing it. If you see someone standing at the bus stop and they have a face like a slapped behind, then send them some love, because Lord knows they need it. But they do not need to know that you have done it. But the essence of that loving energy will be within their energy field, and it has an effect. You are causing energy to move to them, and its effect will be that they will take on that energy. And the same applies in reverse. Be near someone that is negative, and you will feel their negativity. All of you know that this is true. So whichever way you look at the conundrum, move to people that feel good and move away from people that feel bad. But don't abandon them. Without them knowing, you can send positive thoughts to them and still make a difference, my friend. Does that answer you, my friend?
Yes, thank you very much. That's a nice answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Will you take the hand down now, please? Thank you. Has anyone else got a question? Anyone? Pauline, yes. Okay, Pauline. Would you like to unmute yourself then, please, and ask your question? Thank you.
Good evening.
Hello, my friend.
I've been contemplating this, that people that have near-death experiences, they often come back, they say, with more mediumistic abilities or heightened psychic abilities. So what I question is, was this always what was intended for them, and perhaps they'd lost their way? Or was there another reason why that's happened?
It cannot be an arbitrary answer to everyone, my friend, but let us share this perspective. And you tell me what you think. Life is very precious. When we meet people that have come close to death, you find that there is an inner reflection of the contemplation of the fragility of life itself. That they have, in essence, died and been reborn in some way. Because when something truly powerful, spiritually powerful, something that threatens your very existence, how can you fail to be affected by it? How can you fail to say to someone, I nearly died, and I perceived some spiritual truths, some spiritual experience, and I need to tell you about it. And if it causes you to contemplate your existence, and if it causes you to feel in some way more connected, that you need to somehow continue this dialogue between those who are with us and those who are in the incarnated form. It cannot be a bad thing to do, can it? Because as you contemplate your meaning in life, as you contemplate your sensitivity, realizing that this physical form, that is only temporary. The form that you communicate with when you consider yourself being mediumistic. I am the everlasting. I am that which cannot die. You are inhabiting that which will certainly die. So as we seek to have that dialogue between the two states of being, it will cause you reflection and a quest, a journey, because of the very fragility of your existence has become deadly serious to you. Humans think they're invincible, until they're not. There are many who have sat where we sit, who literally did not see it coming. And it causes you to think. And there will also, my friend, be that communication that is wanted and needed from our side to you. You see that you are also a guide, a tutor, a messenger for those that reside where we are. And because there is maybe a familial connection between those on this side and those on your side, do you not see how you are the perfect candidate for a communication to take place? And maybe in that heightened state of awareness when you are in this limbo land between life and death, that you are reunited temporarily by those who have gone before you. And when you see that they are no longer dead, but they are alive, intelligent, and communicating with you, well, I would say that that can change a person. But what you choose to do with this understanding, of course, is up to you. Does that go somewhere to explaining, my friend?
Yes, it does. But can I also, the other thing I sort of think about in that scenario, there are some that say they don't want to come back. So I just question them, where is the free will in that scenario if they say they don't want to come back?
But in what context are they not coming back or coming back? Who forces them to?
Well, this is what I've sort of listened to different topics on this subject, and they talk about the guides, perhaps, or the elders have sort of tried to encourage them that they've still got things to do. But then they say they don't want to come back, but eventually they do change their minds.
My friend, there is one great point that we must contemplate. When you are in this transitional state between life and death, you will feel a love that is beyond all human comprehension. You will feel a love that defies any sort of explanation. And when you, in a human form, become aware of this new state of being, where every cell in your body vibrates with a love and a sense of connectedness to all things, then can you be blamed for not wanting to return to the human form?
Oh,
But to
no.
remember, the human form is only a temporary existence. And as a human in this in-between state, let us use that term, you are trying to comprehend the incomprehensible, using a tiny human brain to become aware of all that is. Neurologically, it is just not possible for you to do so. No more so than you could get a cup and try to take a whole ocean in one cup. There is only so much of that ocean of consciousness that you can comprehend at any one time. So, my friend, it is not surprising that you would not want to return from a state of pure love. But your responsibilities, your task, your purpose may not yet be fulfilled. And so there is that sense of you must finish what you came to do. And we will be here waiting when that time comes, when the sands of time have come to their closure, and there is no more sand left in that timer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Pauline. Lydia? No. Sorry. Linda. Sorry, Linda. I was reading your name as. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Thank you. Linda Drake, you have your hand up. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Seem to have a problem here. Okay. Does anyone else have a question at the moment? Yes, here are some questions. Right then, let's go from the beginning. Ward, good evening. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Good evening. I wonder if you could speak to our messengers and how we might receive messages from either our guides or others that we know in spirit.
Yeah, so we're talking about the method of communication, my friend. Yes, do we understand you correctly?
Yes.
Now, it is an interesting topic, isn't it?
Mhm.
My friend, when I communicate with you, what do you experience?
Questions and understanding as we communicate.
Do you feel a sense of the presence of energy connecting with you in some way?
Yes.
Now, my friend, let us say that I am your spiritual guide or advisor, whatever terminology you wish to use. And let us say that you send a thought to us, so we do not even need to express it out loud, but you send a thought. I want you to imagine that it is like you are throwing a stone to the heavens. And so as you throw that stone to the heavens, and we are your target, that we will receive this gift from you. And let us say that our thoughts in response to you, we send back to you, and very gently, of course, we throw this stone back to you, and it lands at your feet. Let us say that within this stone is the essence, the energy of us. And within the thoughts is our answer. Now, what do you do to try to bridge the gap between human thinking, human mind, and mediumistic awareness? What do you think is a suitable state of being, my friend?
Stillness, quiet, calm.
Yes. So let us think about, why would a monk go into the silence? Why would the Native American person on their journey find the top of the mountain? Why would the yogi go into a cave? It is to find that inner stillness, that sense that when the monkey in the mind is not chattering to you, you start to hear a silent voice whispering, a silent voice telling. Your inner awareness starts to know things. We need to become aware of your intuitive nature. Have you ever become aware of a time, my friend, where your intuition told you to do or not to do something?
Yes.
Now, so when you ask that question to us and when we reply, when your intuition also gives you a sense that you understand what the answer is, but the real question is you don't necessarily trust what you perceive.
Yeah.
This is the frailty of being human, trying to be mediumistic. What we are trying to do, my friend, is return to what we have always been. It is a being that senses, that speaks with the mind, that does not need to listen with the ears, using your intuitive nature to perceive what you know to be true, and to know that that voice, when it comes back to you, it is that voice of spirit whispering the answers. Sometimes when you have a knowing and you do not know why, it is as if someone put a new cassette into the deck and pressed play. And you do not know how those words got into your mind, or this new perspective. Where did it come from? Do you not think we try to communicate when we think you will be receptive to us? In those moments in between awake and going to sleep, in those moments of sleep where you're going to become awake, that in-between time, that time in which we can maybe whisper a word or two, show you an image. Let us remember, my friend, that all of those physical senses that you have, there is the spiritual counterpart. So we could purposefully seek to develop aspects that we currently find maybe more difficult and onerous. Like all good things, practice brings a stronger state of knowing. Those times at which you keep saying, show me, show me, show me, show me, then you need to have time to say, allow me to perceive, perceive, perceive. Do not think that questions go unanswered, my friend, but give it due time to be perceived. Does this help you in some way, my friend?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
all very much. Thank you. If you like to take your
Good
hand down
question,
the
my
board.
friend.
Thank you. Okay, can I come to Lisa, please? May I ask you to unmute and ask your question, please, Lisa? Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Good evening, friend. Thank you for your words this evening. It's really interesting. I wonder, do you work with other life forms on other planets or just with humans?
Like I said earlier, my friend, variety is the spice of life. Why would we not seek to communicate with those who are spiritually on a journey of discovery, who have insights and understandings that are maybe beyond even I? Because all I am is a mere pilgrim on a journey. Why would I not seek to commune with those who can elevate me? Those who can share new truths? My friend, all of that consciousness, all of that wisdom out there are myriads of ways at which it can be expressed and understood. And who would I be to say that in my wisdom I have nothing more to learn? Consciousness is within the trees. It is within the flowing of the water. It is within the strength of the rocks. But how many of you speak to the rocks? How many of you have water in your hand and listen to its wisdom? Let us think that as consciousness has no physical form, then it can take any form and still be there in the essence of wisdom. Is mankind truly ready to see that which would confuse its eyes? I doubt very much, my friend. The truth is stranger than fiction. But is mankind ready to really know the truth? It was not so long ago that as man sought to find new places to explore in the many oceans and the lands, and as they traveled, they subjugated those that they found. They wanted them to see the world in their image and their belief. Humanity has a rather confusing habit and compulsion to want whoever he meets to fall into line with his way of thinking. So let us think about all the ways in which mankind would need to do what we should say is serious introspection and self-reflection before the many forms of intelligence are unleashed upon humanity. There will come a day, and maybe the need to be spiritually abundant is greater than to be materialistically powerful. When the need for power is no longer needed, then spiritual brotherhood shall become the weapon of choice. Thank you, my friend.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. If you'd like to unmute yourself, Catherine, please. And then we'll come to another lady who is waiting. I can't see her now.
Good evening.
Hello, my friend.
I've been getting interested in what makes a spirit stuck when it's passing between the earth and the spirit world. And if we come across such spirits, how should we help them to pass over into the spirit world?
Well, there are two scenarios at which we may come into this scenario, let's say. Doctrine, cultural and societal conditioning could teach you to believe that when you pass to spirit and you have not led a godly life, that you will be in some way confined to the fires of hell. And this type of conditioning could make someone that has passed be very reticent to, let us say in a very simplistic way, go to the light. And you understand the context in which I share this.
Yes.
And so if there is a great fear and a great sense of foreboding judgment, because those that are going to wait for the deceased will be standing there with a red-hot poker, ready to chastise them, then you could be forgiven if you do not think that this seems like a tempting fate. So conditioning is actually quite a common way of finding people that do not wish to transition in anything more than the bodily sense to our realm, because their understanding does not allow them to embrace this new experience. Does that make sense, this first part, my friend?
Yes, it does.
Now, let us say that you are of there is a sickness of the mind, and there is a sense that we want to keep tasting the liquor, or we want to buzz off the drug, or we want to carry on fulfilling whatever predilection we had in our earthly sense. Then birds of a feather flock together. And then beings that are of a certain mindset or predilection could seek to have the company of those like them. So we have the, let us say, a spirit drunk, and we have the human drunk. And one does not have a bodily form, but it can, through the sharing of that consciousness, relive what it is to be inebriated or intoxicated in some way. And so they can seek to, let us say, be earthbound. It is not a great description, but it brings across the point that we are willing to make. But let us say that not all people who, I quote you, are to be rescued, want to be, to have a savior. They do not necessarily want to be where you want them to be. But we must use a spiritual intermediary and also the medium that understands the process of like entrapment, and to try to say to them, look, your fears are not real, that you do not have cause to feel judged, that we can bring you into the state of being where you will be received with love. Love is the only damnation that you will feel. And if that is damnation, then it's not a bad way to be received. Fear, my friends, judgment, lots of those things that many religions would testify as to be your final resting place. Follow the word of God, or you will be left to a world of damnation. Well, that sounds like a pretty cruel God to me. The true essence of spiritual love is acceptance. Even if you were not the best person, you are still accepted, you are still loved. The sooner humanity as a whole understands what you are and where you go to, you understand that this terrible detour that you take when you adopt a lifestyle of dogma, it really is quite an insidious way of existing. But that is not to say that religion in itself is evil or bad. It is the people that perpetrate it and that say that in their name what they speak is the truth. There is only one universal truth, my friend, and that is love. And it always will be love. But as there are those who seek to guide people to a sense of darkness, and of course those that seek to shed light must carry on doing their work. Would you not agree, my friend?
Yes, indeed.
Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we've got
June!
Yeah.
One more, my friend.
Yes, that's what I was just going to say. I think so. And Cindy, didn't you have your hand up earlier? It wasn't you. Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay, then. Right. Well, this is the last question, and this comes from Lydia. Then, thank you. Thank you, Lydia. Ask your question, please.
Yes. Okay, thank you, my dear friend. Is it so that as someone who committed suicide is going to the healing chambers, or what is happening right then? Do they get to know what they've done? And is it also a lesson for the persons in the earth that they have to receive that kind of lesson somehow?
Now, I thought you said it was one question, my friend.
Okay, sorry.
It is okay. Now, when someone chooses to end their life, it must have taken a lot of courage to do that. It must be a difficult thing for them to have considered, bearing in mind that there would have been many who loved them. So there must be always, and this is a universal concept, my friend, there must always be a period of reflection and healing as the spiritual body has existed within this very human and heavy environment. And the physical toll upon the spiritual form cannot be underestimated. So if someone has had a long and protracted illness, then it reduces the vitality of the spiritual form, in addition to the demise of the physical form. But let us say that the person has taken their life. My friends, we have said on many occasions this evening that the presence of love is universal. It is where you came from and where you go back to. For those who have taken their life early, this is also the case. We must give them time to come to terms with their decision, but we do not judge them. We give them the opportunity to be physically able, in the sense of their spiritual form. Now, the physical body, in the human understanding of it, is no longer needed. But we have that mental aspect of the spiritual form, which does need a time of healing, a time of understanding. And there are those whose lives are dedicated to the understanding and the working with and the healing and the uplifting of those who have made decisions that were indeed very tough. And so we hope that part of the question, my friend, is answered for you. As
Yes, thank
far
you.
as the effect upon the loved ones, the relatives, of course, my friend, there is a sense that the decisions were made, that understandings were come to prior to the incarnation of the spiritual being into the human form. But remember, you are only playing a character in a play. You could be the recipient of someone who took their life. You could be the brother or sister. You could be the parent. But what you are not is a victim. You are a co-experiencer of a set of circumstances that will not live with you forever. That indeed there is deep and profound learning to be the person that goes through that experience as the direct experiencer, and those that were the recipient of their loss. It is indeed a deep state of grief because it poses so many questions. There is not time to get used to the demise of someone that makes that decision in what appears to be an instant. When someone maybe experiences a long and protracted illness, there is a sense of understanding of what is happening, a sense of preparation for the impending loss. But when someone takes their life, there is a sense that that cord got cut too quickly. So the learning, the experience cannot be underestimated. Would you like me to clarify further, my friend? Are there parts that I have not yet covered for you?
No, you covered enough on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lydia.
Well, my friends, as we come to the end of this gathering, let us think about something. There is no right or wrong except love. So when you look at your foe across the table and you think I am right and he or she is wrong, there is only love. When you disagree with them, when they do insist on banging their head against a brick wall, smile and remember that there is only love. When they speak ill of you, when they do not take time to understand you, once more take a breath, smile, and remember that there is only love. Love will heal all ills. Love will be a light that will guide you. And it is the force that will reunite us all one day. As you go this evening, please go with the presence of love in your heart. Please think only kind and loving thoughts, not only for those around you, but for you. The birthplace of those thoughts is you. My friend, you have blessed me with your presence, and I am truly honored and humbled that you should listen to me. Please accept our sincere gratitude and know that indeed you have blessed me, and one day maybe our paths will cross once more. Until then, I say farewell, God bless, and goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ooh. Ooh. That's better. Right. Any questions?
Yeah,
Hopefully I made some sort of sense, or they made some sort of sense.
you did very well. The guides took 9 questions and gave very
Ooh.
good answers. Everyone was very satisfied. So
Good.
yeah.
Good. Any observations or comments anyone wants to make? Feel free to speak. You don't. No airs and graces here. I'm normal, I promise. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a slight stretch, but I'm normalish. No.
Andy, it's Ward.
Oh, hello, Ward.
Can I ask just how you feel after
Spaced out
session? Yeah.
I feel chilled. I feel really chilled, like I've had a
Yeah.
very good sleep. I kind of feel like a little bit maybe like a little bit drunk. I kind of feel almost like I want to giggle and not sure why. But there's just like that that sense of I do feel very chilled, very peaceful, very just like like that.
Nice.
I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, it's
Perfect.
not tiring at all. But I've been in a very still state of being. So it's like someone said, wake up. And I'm like, oh, it's bright. It's bright out there. Yeah. Any other observations, points? Anyone want to comment? Especially those that haven't seen me before, because I appreciate some people might be raising an eyebrow or two and thinking, what the hell just happened there?
Yes,
No, it hasn't scared anyone. Oh
Can I
my
ask
goodness.
how long it took you to learn trance?
Sorry, who said that? Where was that? I'm hearing a
Catherine.
voice. Where's that?
Catherine.
Catherine, where are you, Catherine? I can't see.
She's
Oh, there you are, at the top there. How long? Well, it kind of started to happen to me rather than I deliberately set out to learn it. It's sitting in, and hello, Tony, by the way. I spotted you on the screen. I haven't seen you in a while, Tony. He's a good bloke. I like Tony. Yeah, so sitting in like a weekly circle, and I didn't know then what was happening, but looking back, I know that the guides were starting to connect to me in a way that would remind me of what it is to go into trance now. But I didn't know that's what it was at the time. So I reckon that was probably about sort of 6 months or so after starting development. Not for trance, just like anything, sitting in a circle. Being aware of spirit in a like a physical, tangible, like it feels like I'm becoming them type scenario. How long does it take? Well, it depends on how much effort you put in. To be honest, it depends on, firstly, actually, rewind a bit. It depends on what understanding you have. You need a good tutor. All right. If someone teaches you the wrong things, it doesn't matter how long you learn the wrong things, you're still learning it wrong. All right. And when I say learning it wrong, I mean, if you don't understand the simple steps, then it makes an easy process seem like rocket science. All right. But the beauty of it is simple. And it's simple if we do the easy things really well, as some of the people that have been with me will testify. I do not teach complicated. I teach it to be simple, to be easy to understand, and we learn that way. If I make it seem mystical, like I'm something special, because let me tell you, I'm not, then it makes it seem unachievable. And what is the point in that? Why would spirit want it to be unachievable? They don't want me to tell people how difficult this is and how amazing I am. Because apart from the fact it seemed like a bloody egotist, it's going to put you off in the first place, isn't it? I need to show you how bloody simple it is and how you can be connected to your guys as well as anyone else. Nothing special about me. I do not have any powers that you don't have. I can sit still. I can send a thought to the spirit world and they can respond. That's pretty much it. And I close my eyes, but I think everyone else here can close their eyes too. So what hindered me more than anything, Catherine, I don't mean to be facetious, is people telling me stuff that was just plain bullshit. All right. Saying stuff that I believed because I didn't know any better, And for example, trance is where you're not aware. Trance is where you're taken out of it. If I could erase anything from my memory, it'd be that person saying that to me. Because every time I sat for trance and every time I was aware of everything, do you think I thought I was succeeding or failing? I was failing every time in my mind because I thought, all right, he said that trance has to be when you're completely out of it. So every time I wasn't out of it, I thought that I am just obviously plain stupid. All right, there must be something spiritually wrong with me that I can never get out of it because that's what he said it was. All right. Now, he didn't know any better. And so I don't blame him for it. It was only his understanding. But what I recognize now is by not understanding it right at the fundamental stage, that put a massive wall in my path. And that I just felt I couldn't surmount because I thought there was something up with me. And it was only by going to someone different and him saying, well, Andy, you do know that this is how it works. And it was like someone had just shown me electricity for the first time. I'm like, oh my God, there's a light. Oh, off, on, off, on. Oh my God. I can see. Suddenly, that became like the most wonderful thing ever. And then suddenly that wall is gone. And then it was just about confidence. Have I actually got the confidence to speak when the guides are entrancing me? And once I developed it and I stopped panicking about what the people in front of me thought, then things started moving much quicker. All right. So that initial step was, do I understand it? And the answer was no. Things have improved since then, I've got to say. Hopefully. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Maybe, hopefully, maybe, who knows?
When I've tried to meditate before on 2 occasions, I've actually just went into trance.
Right.
And it all went well. And I remembered what I was saying. And it was in like a group thing.
Yeah.
The only thing was afterwards, when I sort of come out of trance, I feel very weird, like I've had electric shock go for my body.
Yeah, but don't forget, right? So your energy is specific to you, okay? So how you feel and all of that energetically is unique to you. And so let's say Lydia was your guide, and Lydia comes along and she says, hello, Catherine, I'm your guide. I'm Lydia from Holland. And you go, Lydia from Holland, I don't know. Can I trust her? I don't know. I don't know anything about her. I don't even understand Dutch. Maybe you do. But
in Holland.
Yeah, you lived in Holland. Well, that's typical that I picked Lydia for you then. But it could be that when you first get to know her and you meet her for the first time and you say hello, it's a polite handshake. And like, how do you do? I'm Catherine. I'm Lydia. Nice to meet you. Da 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 da. But you're not going to go over there and give her the world's biggest hug and say, let's just jump on the bed and talk about men or something. And she's going to be like, well, that's a little bit forward. So, I need to get to know you first. But you're just gonna say, let's get to know each other a little bit, and then we start to become comfortable. And when you become comfortable with her energy, next time you meet her, you might give her a real big hug and say, Lydia, it's so good to see you. And she gives you a big hug back, and then you feel comfortable. So when the guide is first trying to say, oh, here's a new opportunity. She's got this trance potential. Let's see if she can become aware of me. And you feel this guide, your body energetically, not spiritually, your body is going, hang on a minute, new energy here. I don't know if I like this. Am I safe? Your fight or flight or freeze instinct will kick in. And you suddenly become aware of this external force that you're not used to. So in the early days, I would literally feel like I was freezing. I mean, bone chilling cold. All right. So I would feel this all the time. Sometimes I might get some heat, but then I would feel this expansion as the guide is connecting with me. It felt like someone was inflating me like a bloody balloon. And I was like, feels like I'm getting bigger. It's like I'm expanding, getting taller. I can only wish. But that wasn't happening. What happens is my guide was entering into my energy field, and I was thinking, I don't know what's going on here. What's going on? And I feel like my heart's beating out my chest. I feel that this is really strange. Am I safe? Shall I run away? Have I been possessed? And the opposite is true. You're just used to this, starting to get used to an energy that is alien to you. So the more you sit, though, that will dissipate. That will get less and less and less. And then after a while, you'll say, Andy, do you know what? I don't get that anymore. And I'll go, yeah, makes sense. Cool. Anne, would you like to ask me your question or whatever you wanted to say, please?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
How can you get to know your guide? Is it via blending or is it other different things?
Communication is key. Okay, so do you consciously ask for your guide and be specific? Don't just say guide. It's like saying, "Oh, can I have the audience member just unmute themselves?" And then you're all looking at me and saying, "Which one? Catherine, Miriam, Tony? Which one do you want?" So I need to be specific. So if you're sitting for trance, say, "I would like my trance guide to blend with me, to make a connection, and to allow me." Get yourself a book. I ain't got a book to hand. Yes, I have. Get yourself a book, all right? Write down today's date. Say the purpose of today, connecting to a trance guide, all right? And so give yourself 15 minutes. Don't make it onerous. Don't think that longer is better. It's not, unless you need a really long piece of rope. The shorter bursts are better because they will grab your attention and you won't get bored. All right, been there, done it. Sitting for half an hour, 45 minutes, not a good idea. I get bored after 10 minutes. And so the rest of the time, I'm wondering what I'm having for tea for the next 5 nights. So ask your guide, trance guide, to connect. Now, what I would say is please spend some time just being aware of your own energy first. All right. Lots of us are going around. We want to grab guides. We want to hug them. We want to love them. We want to connect. And we don't even know how it feels to be us. So spend time being aware, Anne, and anyone else, how it feels to be you. Just 5 minutes. Sit there with your eyes closed and pretend you're like a doctor and you're scanning this body. And you're going, right, what does it feel like to be Anne? From the top down to the bottom. Do you notice anything at all? Energetically, what's in your mind? All right. Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel calm? Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel still? Do you feel tense? Once you've answered those questions, then say, okay, Spirit, trance guide, please connect to me. And before you ask, no, it doesn't matter if you don't know who they are. It doesn't matter at all. They will introduce themselves energetically first, maybe personally second. So just sit with them and think, how does it feel? And you think to yourself, I feel this sense of expansion, but again, that's the energy moving into your energy. You could see a clairvoyant image. You could hear something. You could even smell something. So they may show you an image of a teepee. Maybe you'll see someone wearing a war bonnet. Maybe you'll see an Egyptian figure. Maybe you'll see someone, I don't know, African or Norwegian or whatever. So they will use all of your states of awareness to try to paint a picture, but the most fundamental connection is the energetic one that you feel. Underline that, capitals, bold. Think about what you feel. And so you say, Andy, do you know what? I did that. I felt that I had this type of energy with me. I felt myself becoming more lighthearted or more stern and more aggressive, more dominating. There was something more strong and powerful about his or her energy. You may have seen those images. Make some notes afterwards and then just say, right, that was today. maybe tomorrow or the next day, I'll ask for that guide again. And what you'll start to notice as you journal your experiences, you'll start to become aware that certain things always happen. You always use them as a description of how it was to connect with them. And what that's allowing you to do is to get an understanding that whenever I connect to that trance guide, I feel this. Okay. And it starts to give you a little confidence. And you think, I'm getting that sense again. So it really is that guide, really does give me this sensation. And therefore, you start to think it's not just in my mind. But clairsentience is your best friend, especially when you're working with trance. Don't be so preoccupied with clairvoyance, because when I go into trance, as soon as I close my eyes, I see nothing at all for the whole of that trance dem until I look at you guys on the screen. I get no clairvoyant visions at all, because trance is operating in a different level of awareness, whereby clairvoyance is something closer to the surface of normal awareness. Trance is somewhere different. It's kind of further down. I don't want to say deeper because I kind of hate that as a description. Does that make sense to you, Anne? I know it's quite a long answer.
Yes, it does. I have these words to speak English.
That's okay. I don't speak Norwegian, so you're fine.
I have my healing guide.
Yeah.
I can feel him immediately when he comes. He gives me very much healing, and when he come, he is in my whole body.
Yeah.
And I feel this extension, was it the right word?
Yeah.
I feel
like
big. I feel bigger in my whole body.
yeah. Yeah, he's moving into your energy field, isn't he?
Yes. And it's very strong. It's very good, and I feel very, very healing. And sometimes when I'm not in trance, but I can paint a painting. After the painting is finished, I have painted a trance healing painting.
You've painted a trance healing painting.
Yes.
Just
So
trying to understand.
I get healing from this trance healing from this painting when I place it on the kitchen or in the living room, or then my whole body get healing, very, very trance healing from the painting.
Interesting. No, I think that's wonderful.
It's very strong.
But it's also, it kind of seems that your spirit friends know that you're able to do that creative, connect for that creative aspect. And the painting itself can be healing in what you produce, but it seems like you're maybe connecting to, let's say, a spirit artist that would work with you and blend with your energy, so that you two of you become like one energy. They create the art with you, and then when it's drawn, what they've drawn you has a healing effect upon you. So I would say actually that you're probably becoming aware and connecting to more than one guide.
Yes.
But all of our mediumship will be healing to some degree.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's wonderful. So you're obviously making good progress. It's nice to hear, because it's a while since I've spoken to you. So well done.
Yes. Yes, it's very strong. And I know that I have a lady, a Swedish lady that is my guide, and she is an artist.
Right. So that makes complete sense then, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it makes sense what I said. A Swedish guy that's an artist, and you're doing spirit art. Who would have thought? Well done. Well done, Anne.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else want to share anything before I raid my fridge for biscuits or cake? Maybe ask questions, because I really need to stop doing that. I can't afford to keep buying trousers that are getting bigger. Any other questions? You're just happy to go now? look, for those of you that joined me for the first time, congratulations for making it all the way through. Unless anyone left, then, well, there you go. This is how I am. All right. Now, if you think you're weird enough to join me on my complete beginners, Trance for Complete Beginners, there is a course that starts on December the 1st. There's only 4 parts, and they're 2 hours long each session, but it is for people with no understanding or very little. And that is December the 1st. If you are more confident and you've embraced your weirdness to a greater degree, and you like connecting with your guides and you can connect with them and do more philosophical stuff, then there is a course starting on December the 8th. Now, June has done that. Lydia, Miriam, I can't see anyone else on there. That is designed to push you quite hard. All right. So it will push you. It will cause you to think, what the hell have I let myself in for? But the ladies on the last one did a trance demonstration, which you can see online, a week or so ago, just over a week ago. Blew my mind. They were brilliant. And it was so good to see. And do you know what? It was a testament to their hard work. So depending on where you are on your journey, there's different options. If you don't want to learn with other people and you like to learn one-to-one, that's fine. I do one-to-one tuition. That's what some people prefer, because we can tailor it according to what you want to get out of it. And it's all about you for the hour or whatever. So look, going to do a shameless plug, because you're here, you enjoy trance, and you might want to learn. All right. So why can't I? It's my dem. So might as well share it. But thank you so much for joining. We will meet again in 2 weeks. I do these every 2 weeks. And then in the intervening weeks, I just get folks together. Again, it's free of charge for a free mediumship practice. All right. So if you want to practice your regular mediumship and you just need a safe space and you like weird people, I'm your man. All right. So it's not a teaching one. It's just about, let's get together and practice and do spirit links with each other, use breakout rooms. All right. So there you go. My tummy's rumbling and I really want to go to the fridge, but I know I shouldn't. So I will see you maybe in 2 weeks or whenever else, and whatever else I'm working with you. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to post this online at some point, so you can relive my weirdness all over again, you lucky people.
Thanks, Andy.
God bless. Have a great
Very
rest of the
much.
evening. Really good to see you all. All right.
Cheers.
Take care, guys. Thanks for your comments as well. I shall read them after we've finished. All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye
Bye now.
now. Bye.